Master. I hope everybody is doing fine after completing their office and happy that you joined this session in the working day because you all are keen to learn many things from Toastmaster just like me. So we have Rohan Nag, which needs no introduction because I got privileged to talk about his introduction. So before Rohan Nag, I introduce myself. My name is Aarti Sharma. I joined Toastmaster in the month of April, and I really enjoyed Janapuri Club. So that's the reason I renew my membership 2 weeks back. So this is kind of benefit I'm getting apart from my other Toastmaster colleagues. So I encourage everybody to utilize this platform as much as you can. So without wasting any further time, so I will provide the introduction of Rohan Nag. Rohan worked as a Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, and as a certified trainer, he has facilitated more than 75 workshops and webinars across corporates and academic institutions of public and topic like public speaking, communication, leadership, mentorship, and one topic which I really like and that really hit me, which is self-branding. I never ever heard about this kind of topic taken by some speaker and spread this to make somebody how to self-brand. So that is really good to know about Rohan. And in terms of Toastmaster, I will say that he joined Toastmaster in 2018 and delivered 200 speeches across India and abroad. And he mentored more than 150 individuals and become distinguished Toastmaster thrice, not once, and participate in his district speech contest champion twice. And apart from this huge achievement, he received 2 awards in Toastmaster. One is second best area director award, and the second one is bird number one division director. So without wasting any further time, so I'm really, really privileged to have this session and looking forward to learn icebreaker, how can we craft icebreaker speech? Sorry. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, Kashish. Kashish, you were saying something?
Sorry.
No problem, no problem. So you know that when we join Toastmaster, it needs lots of courage to craft the icebreaker speech because even though the speech is all about ourselves, our life journey, our experience, our challenges, just so that other Toastmaster member can know more about us, but still it needs courage to stand into the stage and talk about ourselves. So today, Rohan Nag will be talking about and train us and coach us how to craft icebreaker speech. So I'm going to give the stage to Rohan. Thank you so much, Rohan, for again joining to providing this training to all of us. And
Thank you.
considering we are 10 people right now, but I'm expecting people will be keep joining.
Thank you so much, Aarti ma'am. You are very kind. And before I start with the session, I would like to thank Kashish Bhai for thinking me worthy of addressing each and every one of you who has joined in today in this brilliant Wednesday evening, at least here in Calcutta. I hope the same is the case in Dilwano Ki Dilli. That's hopefully all of you. So yes, ma'am, I definitely take a training on self-branding. And one of the aspects of self-branding is how we speak. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a particular concept that you have in your mind, a concept that can literally change the world, but you are not able to sell that concept to anyone, right? So it's as good as that concept has never existed. So what we put across to the people who are, no, ma'am, I don't think anyone is required to come out on camera. Okay, you can all sit back, relax, enjoy your coffee, your tea, or any other colored liquid that you enjoy having. We are, at the end of the day, toast masters. I'm not saying anything else, just toast masters. So you can all sit back and relax. But where I will request all of you is to listen, because when you listen, you will have questions. When you have questions, you can ask me, and I'll try my level best to answer them to add value to your Toastmaster journey, right? So, as I was saying, it is very important for us to be able to put across our ideas, our thoughts, our concepts to the people listening to us. Now, when Kashish Bhai, about 2 weeks back, the brilliant person, the brilliant leader that he is, told me that, Rohan, I would request you to take a session on Icebreaker. Okay, the speech about I, me, and myself. We got into a call. It was a nice call. We spoke after quite some time. And we decided that just not an icebreaker. How about we learn, each and every one of us who's here and the members who will join in the near future, how about we learn how to deliver, how to craft, how to come across any speech, not just a Toastmasters icebreaker speech. Because icebreaker is just one project. To complete a path, we have to complete 14 projects. To become a distinguished Toastmaster, you have to complete at least 28 projects plus the DTM project. That's roughly 26, I beg your pardon, 30 speeches. So how about today we learn through a particular model how we can craft any speech, right? Any speech. Now, I have a question. Now, I would just request any one of you just to unmute. Okay, this is an informal session, as I said, nothing very formal about it. Can anyone tell me what is a bridge? And not the card game. That's the hint. What is a bridge? Toastmasters?
I request, please participate to make this session more interactive.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
learn.
This is what is a bridge? That's all. What's a bridge?
Anybody want to try? Neeraj, I
Which,
can see that you are
which
unmuting yourself.
yeah, a bridge which connects point A to point B.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Loved your answer. The fact that you use the most important word, connect. A bridge connects point A to point B. So let's see, how can we create a bridge that can enable you to put across your thoughts and your minds and your ideas in front of an audience. Aarti ma'am, is this screen visible to you?
Yes, yes, Rohan.
Fantastic. So what is this? Now, because we have just 1 hour for the session, I have created a structure. Now, I will go across right from column A to column S, and let us see how we can develop any speech, not just within Toastmasters, but beyond as well. So as I forgot your name, sir, I'm very sorry. The one who answered, what is a bridge?
Neeraj. Neeraj.
As Toastmaster Neeraj said, it is something that connects point A to point B. So let's say here you are, as a public speaker, you are at point A, and your audience is right here at point B. Ladies and gentlemen, you have an idea, a concept, a theme, a pitch that you want to share with your audience members. Remember, I was talking about the art of personal branding. If you are not able to communicate your idea, your theme, or your pitch to your target audience, then for them, it's as good as you or your idea doesn't exist. Now let us assume a standard time limit of 5 to 7 minutes, because majority of Toastmaster speeches is 5 to 7 minutes. Some go up to 15 to 20 minutes as well, which then of course can be very similar to a TEDx speech or a Josh Talk speech, right? Now you have an idea, a concept, a theme, or a pitch, and you have to send it to your audience. So let's see what all you can have in your speech that can help you put across that brand, that is what you are in the mind of your audience. Now, any speech has 3 parts. Any speech, very simple 3 parts. Can anyone tell me what they are? Give it a random shot. Doesn't matter if you are wrong. How does it matter? Yeah, who's judging you? Anyone?
It's the introduction,
Okay,
then body, and then conclusion.
fantastic. So you have the opening, you have the body, and you have the conclusion. Fantastic. This is going to be the easiest session I'm going to take. You guys know everything. Fantastic. Now, let's come to the opening. Why is the opening of a speech very important? Because the opening is what we call the hook. So now you have a lot of these Bollywood songs, okay, where there is a hook speech, the hook step. और कुछ पता हो ना हो सबको वो hook से पता होता है, right? So when the song is playing in a shadi or in a club, everybody does the hook step and then we are standing. Again, the tune comes back and we do the hook step and then we stand. The opening of your speech is like that hook. So what can you do or what can you say that can hook the attention of your audience and make them listen to you? Put all the other noise and thoughts away from their minds and try and bring that concentration on what you are going to say. Very simple. You can start off with a quote. You can start off with maybe a question. So, how many of you are hungry today? Can be a question. You can start off with a joke, humor, right? Anything that can just take away all thoughts, all the cluster in the mind of your audience and bring it, oh, okay, this is interesting. This is what a person is going to say. Now, it's very important, ladies and gentlemen, that how you begin has to be in line with three things. Number one, the most important, how you're going to end. Your beginning needs to have a relationship with your end. Number two, your beginning has to be in line with the kind of audience that you are addressing. Now, if you're sitting in front of a board and you decide to crack a joke, the board may not like it. It's the board end of the day. If you're sitting in front of a group bunch of students, young audience, they would like some humor. So you have to understand the number two, who are the people sitting in front of you? And number three, it has to be you, a part of your personal brand. How you start, it has to be you. Please remember one principle across whenever you're delivering any speech, it's all about you. How you speak, how you put across your audience, your ideas, again, to your audience members. That is an opening. Now let's come to the body. What all can we do to have a strong body, which is the main crux, the center, the core of the idea or the theme or the message that you want to put across to your target audience? The first pillar can be, ladies and gentlemen, very simply and very, very easily, a story. Your story can be a story, it can be stories, it can be anything, but something that is in line with your theme or message. With a raise of hands, how many of you have heard of Game of Thrones? Have seen Game of Thrones, the series, the HBO series? Okay, Aarti ma'am has. All right, I'm seeing a few more hands go up. Kashish bhai has. All right. No one else has seen Game of Thrones? Okay, no problem. In Game of Thrones, there is a character called Tyrion Lannister. Now, Tyrion Lannister makes one of the most powerful statements that I, as a public speaker, have heard in my life till now. He says that, and I'm trying to quote, I of course don't remember it verbatim. There is nothing more powerful in this world than a good story. Nothing connects us as a good story. So when you want to put across your speech, your idea, how about you bring in a story? a story to back what you're saying, a story to push across your message. And your story is 1 in 7 billion, because there's no one like you or not. That makes it that much more unique and different. So bring in your story. The second pillar in the bridge can very simply be some spice to make your story nice. What can be that spice? It can be humor, it can be emotions, anything, something that adds to your story, something that adds more power to your words. You know, Johnny Lever had once said that it is very easy to make a person cry. One of the most difficult things to do in the world is to make someone laugh. So if you can bring in a bit of humor, self-deprecating humor, a twist humor, a local humor, or emotions, sorrow, anger, joy, love, and compassion, that can add an extra bit of spice to your story. What can you do to perhaps make that humor, that emotion, a little more comprehensible? This can be a little difficult for you at start, but maybe you can try it once you've delivered 2 to 3 speeches. That is, in a very simple way, characters. Or, I'm so sorry, dialogues. You can just, so dad, how was your day? Oh son, with you as my son, how can be my day? A simple thing, a simple point as a humor, just show it in the form of characters, in the form of dialogues. You know what that happens? It adds to the imagination of your audience members. There is no limitation to our imagination. Every artist in the world says that. So if you can bring in a bit of dialogues, a bit of character in your speech, you can actually bring in another dimension to your theme. Now, ideally, you should be asking me right now, Rohan, at the starting of the speech of your session, you said that this, whatever you're discussing, can be applicable in any kind of a speech. Now, how do I do characters or dialogues in front of my board? That should be a very obvious question. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll answer this question even if you don't have it in your mind. If you have seen any great trainer, let's say Simon Sinek, let's say Tony Robbins, they always come across characters in third person. So I remember hearing one session of Simon Sinek when he's telling about what he learned when he was in discussion with SEAL Team 6. SEAL Team 6 is considered to be one of the toughest and most highly trained military units in the world. It's like the Indian Marcos, right? Great guys, or the Indian Greyhounds, fantastic soldiers. And there he plays a character wherein he says, I was talking to them, and one of the guys told me, so Simon, the point is, this is how you do it. I'm just trying to portray a character. So even in a board setup, you can actually come up with a particular setup wherein you can say, I was having a discussion with a particular client, and he told me that, you know, Rohan, I think that if you can change the caustic in this way, the result can be better. So you're bringing in a character, you're putting across the message, and you're bringing in a story. And you're doing it in a formal setup as a board. Because then the mind of your board, the mind of your bosses will start portraying that dialogue, that exchange. And I have done it in a board setup, and believe me, it works. Maybe you can try this out. If you're not confident, do it in a both setup. Don't do it. No problem. There's no hard and fast rule. But in a Toastmaster setup, in a contest setup, I think you can definitely give a try to characters and dialogues. Even the world champion speeches have characters and dialogues. As a matter of fact, every world champion speech has characters and dialogues. Even you can try. And last but not the least, in the pillar, to add more weight to what you are saying, you can bring in data, you can bring in real life examples. When you bring in data, when you say, as per this research, as per that report, or as per that particular magazine, this is what it is. It adds more value to your words. You know, someone I think in IBM had said that in God we trust, but everything else we need data. That is the power of data. What I mean by examples, examples can be world figures, or examples can be some other situation that may have happened at your work. You know, in law, when lawyers argue cases against each other, they take reference of past cases and they bring in those past cases. They use them as examples to put across their thoughts, their concept, their arguments. Lawyers do that day in and day out. So that they do based on thorough research. So you can also try and bring in those kind of examples, those kind of uh, facts and figures that can definitely add value to your theme, your concept, or your speech. So these, ladies and gentlemen, can be very simply 4 pillars: the stories, humors and emotions, characters and dialogues, data and examples. 4 pillars that can add a value to your speech. Now here we are with an opening. We have a body and we have a conclusion. Now, what do you do in a conclusion? You may have seen that in movies, right? The best part, you know, the happily ever after, the hero overcoming the villain, mostly happens at the end. In Indian cuisine, the meetha is always at the end because that is the last thought or that is the last emotion you want to give your audience. The punch, the feel good factor. Okay, the sweetness, the kuch meetha ho jaye factor in your speech is the conclusion. Now, in the conclusion, what are some of the things that you can very easily do? Number one, you can absolutely summarize what you have said, your points, your stories, your dialogues, your examples, your data. You can just summarize. And isn't that what we do in an evaluation also? We summarize what we say. That is something you can do. Number two, you can have a call to action. Number three, you can have your message, right? What it is that you want to put across to your audience members. Now, I have a question. If any of you don't know, no problem. If any of you know, I would request you to please unmute yourself and give me an answer. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the difference between a call to action and a summary? Can anyone tell me? A call to action and a summary. It is used interchangeably, but there is a difference.
Hi, Rohan. Uh,
Yes, Kashir bhai.
uh, in a call to action, we kind of add another call to action. In summary, we are summarizing the part that we have already spoken. For example, summary could be that I spoke about this thing. And call to action is now you have to do something.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Kashish bhai, I wanted to know the difference between a call to action and a message. But you've given the right answer. So I'll justify what Kashish bhai has said. I'll explain. A message, right, is your concept, is your theme, is the pitch. Honesty is the best policy. That is the message. What is the call to action? Don't cheat in your exam. That is the call to action. A call to action is something that you tell your audience members to do. And your message is the theme, the concept, the pitch, or the idea that you have that you want to put across to your audience. So next time you are in an evaluation, you can use this as an evaluating point. Many times, speakers have fantastic message points. They may tend to miss the call to action. It can be vice versa as well. You can even use this as a point in your evaluation speech contest or a club evaluation as well. So in your conclusion, you summarize, you have a call to action, and you have a message. Now you remember, ladies and gentlemen, when I was talking about the opening, I said that the opening and your conclusion should be connected. It is because if your opening is not in sync with your conclusion, then there will always be a confusion in the minds of your audience. What is this guy trying to say? Now, you don't want that kind of a confusion to come when you are moving from point A to point B. It has to be crystal clear. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what I call a speech bridge. A bridge with an opening, a body, a conclusion, which has 4 pillars on which the entire theme is standing, and it is getting connected right to your target audience right there at point B. Now, if you can do a small analysis of any speech that you have heard in your minds, I promise you, all of these factors will be there in that speech. In Toastmasters, one of the most famous speeches is the speech by Dhananjay Hetarachi, world champion of public speaking. I see something in you. If you remember, he started with a question. At the end, he ended with the message, the rose. The body was about how he changed from a delinquent child to becoming a teacher. He had humor. You put them all together and you get my mama. He had characters and dialogues, his wife, his dad, his mum, and he had examples from his own life as well. A world champion of public speaking speech has the entire aspect that is there here in the speech bridge. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a question again. 2 big pillars in the form of columns D and E, and O and P, and some very strong pillars in the form of G, I, K, and M. Now my question is, do you think this bridge is strong? It can take the weight of your idea and carry it all the way to your audience members. You think it is strong enough? It can get the job done? Then we'll move to the next session. Okay, Aarti ma'am says okay. What about the rest? If you have any questions, if you are not in line with what I'm saying, you are more than welcome to unmute yourself and discuss. Right? Yeah, Digvijay, raise the question. Raise your hand, please. Digvijay, you have a question?
Rohan, I do have a question.
Yeah, please tell me.
Okay. Could you elaborate more on call to action?
Of course, definitely I will. Right. Uh, Digvijay, may I know if you don't mind sharing? What is it that you do in life? Are you a student? You're working?
Rohan, this question is asked by Naveen.
Oh, it's by
Naveen.
Naveen. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
Naveen. Yeah, Naveen. Hi, I'm so sorry because I saw Digvijay's hand go up. So, Naveen, may I know what is it that you're doing in life currently?
Uh, I'm working with the government department as a scientist.
Oh, wow. Brilliant. We have a genius amongst us. Now, we have a genius amongst us is can be a message in my speech. The speech is about how we can be a genius, and it's all about maybe you as the theme of my Toastmaster Naveen is my theme of my speech. So the message is we have a genius amongst us. Call to action is you need to study as hard as Toastmaster Naveen to be a genius. A call to action is giving your audience a definite activity that they need to perform in their personal, social, or personal, professional lives that will justify your message. I'll reiterate, a call to action is a definite activity that you want your audience members to do to justify or follow the message that you have put across. Now, I'm pathetic at science. The last time I cleared a science paper, I was in class 6, so please pardon me if I take a very crude example from science. You are delivering a paper, and the message of that particular paper is we need to collaborate. Maybe collaboration is the next step forward. Collaboration is the next step forward, wherein you are putting across a speech or a paper to, let's say, you have ISRO, you have Department of Atomic Energy, you have what else? You have the CSARs, you have the IITs, all government bodies, wherein you are saying that we need collaboration is what will take us forward. That is the message. What is the action? The action can be for us to collaborate. Let us create a team. Let's create a panel of experts from each and every body so that we can share the data amongst the entire panel. The panel can do the discussion and take the collaboration forward. So you have given a definite action. Create a panel, share the data to the panel does the discussion, and we take it forward. What is the message? Collaboration is the next way forward. Very, very crude example. Apologies. But I hope you've understood the difference between the message and a call to action. Naveen, is that okay?
Yes, I got it.
Sure?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. Right. Now, again, I come back to the question because I didn't get much of an answer. Does this bridge look strong to you?
Rohan, I have one small question. Yes, you're right. This bridge looks strong to all of us, and
Okay.
that's the reason we thumbs up. But in while delivering the speech, in my level 1, I takes care about the emotions very easily. Data example summarized with call to action and message also. The thing I need to start working on humor. Even though when it comes to talk to somebody in personal level, in office, at home, I easily crack joke and make somebody happy. But I am not able to consider and incorporate the humor into my speech. So that is a struggle. And the second thing which I need to work on, which I was not aware of that, I need to start making the character as well as using a dialogue during my speech. So I'm just thinking aloud, how can I start doing that?
Okay,
when
ma'am.
I pick up some kind of
I'll
speech
answer
and
both your
yeah,
questions. Let's
thank
go
you.
with dialogues and characters. Very simple. Let's say there is one story that you're sharing. Okay. And let me take the example of your work. You are sharing a story about something that happened at work. Now, something that happened at work will involve your team members, maybe your boss, your peer, or your junior. So when you're sharing that something happened at work, instead of just saying, something happened at work wherein we had an argument, maybe you can do this. At work, the junior told me, ma'am, मैं क्या करूं? मेरे को करना नहीं आता. I said, what do you mean करना नहीं आता? I've been teaching you, right? So you put across the fact that there was a problem. Problem is karna nahi aata. But instead of telling that, the employee told me he didn't know how to do it, and I told him, how can you not know? You just showed it in the form of characters and dialogues. You are reenacting the story that you yourself want to deliver. That's all. Just give your story faces and names, characters and dialogues. Ma'am, that answers your question?
Yes, yes,
Right.
thank you.
Now let's talk about humor.
Yeah.
Ma'am, at work, at home, you're able to crack jokes because you are thinking naturally. When you're on stage, you are thinking objectively. It has a very simple solution, ma'am. Stop thinking objectively. Think naturally. Because for 90% of your speech, right, humor is just one aspect. Everything else is not humor, right? So 90% of your speech is thinking objectively. Maybe that 10% think naturally. Bring in a twist, self-deprecating humor. When that junior told me he didn't understand, I was thinking, oh my God, even I don't understand. See, ma'am, you laughed. Because I said something with a twist, something that was not expected. The twist, doing the unexpected, self-deprecating. These can be subtle humor points you can bring in your speech. When you're writing your speech, okay, that's the first thing. Don't try and think, okay, how can I make it humorous? No. What did I say? Humor is that spice that makes things nice. Ma'am, you cook, right?
Yes,
We generally add the salt at the later half of the cooking. The last part is the salt or the chaat masala, right? Take humor like that. Do everything, cover all the aspects. And right at the end, if you think, okay, here I can put a little bit of salt, there a little bit of chaat masala to give it that extra spice, that extra zing, use humor like that. Don't stress over it. Because if you stress over humor, how can you be humorous?
absolutely. Yeah. True.
Right? So 90% is taken care of. 10% can be self-deprecating, twist, saying the unexpected, the last bit of salt when you're cooking. I hope that answers your question, ma'am.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That
Fantastic.
will really going to help next time, I believe,
Brilliant.
during my next speech. Thank you.
I'm glad. Ladies and gentlemen, in speech delivery and writing, as a whole, okay, there are two aspects. As a whole, there are multitude of aspects, but as a whole, I'm reiterating, there are two aspects. First is the hardware of a speech. Second is the software of a speech. The software of the speech is the content of the speech. It is soft. Okay, it's here. The hardware of the speech is how you deliver the speech, what you're doing on stage. Because even if I would have just stood here in front of you and I would have said, okay, so this is what it is all about. Start off with a quote, with a bit of story, do the humor, the characters and dialogues, have some example and summarize. I have said exactly the same thing that I've been speaking for the last half an hour, 40 minutes, but I said it in 30 seconds. And I'm pretty sure all of you would have left the meeting by now. I can guarantee it. The point is, even the way you deliver adds a lot of value. So let's see if we can make this particular bridge stronger, because I assure you it can be done. How can we make it stronger? How about we add some angles to the bridge? You know, in mathematics, in geometry, in a right angle triangle, the hypotenuse is considered to be the most powerful structure. So how about we add some hypotenuses to your speech? First hypotenuse is your body language. Very, very important. You yourself will not listen to anyone who doesn't have a positive body language. So you need to have a positive body language, right? Head held high, shoulders slightly pushed back, open hand gesture, power pauses, I beg your pardon. Something that will make your audience understand that what he is saying, what she is trying to deliver, she is doing it with power. The second right angle can be, ladies and gentlemen, which is a bit difficult, but it can be done, is artful to the core. Voice modulation. When you are happy, you are speaking with a different kind of voice. When you are sad and you are dejected, your voice should mean and show that you are saddened. Because your voice is what is actually putting across those words. Bring in voice modulation in your delivery, and it will add a whole new dimension to your speech. Third, ladies and gentlemen, is very important when you are doing humor, when you are doing emotions. And that is, beg your pardon, facial expressions. Now imagine you are delivering a sad story, but you have a smile in your face. You know, yesterday what happened? My pet died. Who on earth is going to believe you had a pet who died? Your face has to back what you are saying. People look at your face to understand what emotions you are trying to portray. So having proper facial expression is very, very important. It is a critical part of your delivery. The next right angle triangle, beg your pardon, can very simply be, I'm not very well versed with Microsoft Excel, like Ashish Bhai, please pardon me, is stage usage. Now here, ladies and gentlemen, there is a dichotomy. The dichotomy is, in Toastmasters we say, you have the entire stage to use, right? The entire length and breadth of the stage to show different characters, to show different timelines. But if you have seen Joe Talks, or you have seen a TED speaker, or you see the great world leaders, they tend to stand in one place and speak. The point is, in stage usage, there is no right or wrong. What is the most important aspect of this is very, very simply the kind of speech you're delivering. If you're delivering a speech that has a lot of stories, use the stage. If you have a speech that does not have many stories, you can definitely stand at one place and deliver your speech. Understand the situation you're in, the scenario you're in, the audience that you're answering to and you're trying to win over, the size of the stage, Keeping these factors in mind, you can determine what kind of stage usage you want to have in your speech. But it should be properly and ably justified. And last but not the least, nowhere the least, this, ladies and gentlemen, is a part of the hardware of your speech and forms a very, very important link between the hardware and the software of your speech. That is transition. We have the opening, we have the body, we have the conclusion. How all the three are connected is a very, very important aspect of your speech. If they three are connected, then your entire speech will form one entire block. One entire block that will put across your ideas, your themes, and your concepts to your target audience. Have proper transitions in place. What is a transition? A transition is how you move from one aspect of your speech to the other aspect of your speech. You're talking of the North Pole, all of a sudden, don't start speaking about the South Pole. One line of transition can be, so I took a flight from the North Pole and I landed in the South Pole, and then you continue with your speech. The transition is how you are delivering your speech and is the most important link between the hardware and the software of your speech. This, ladies and gentlemen, I think makes the bridge a bit more stronger, robust, and will enable you to put across any idea or concept to your audience members. Ladies and gentlemen, before I move on to the next part of my session, any questions on the speech bridge? All right, we don't seem to have any questions. That gets me slightly worried because
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
do have a question. Rohan,
Thank
I
you.
do have a
Yes,
question.
yes, please tell me.
Yeah. What about the eye contact?
Eye
How should
contact
we do?
is a part of your body language. Your eye is a part of your body.
Yes,
Your
yes,
eye is a part of your face, facial
yeah,
expressions. Now, you can have different kinds of an eye contact, There are different ways you can do it. One is the spotlight and the floodlight. What is a floodlight? Floodlight is when you're looking at kind of everyone. You have a kind of a motion across the audience. Your spotlight, when you look at one person. I can't do it in an online setup. So just imagine you're standing in front of an audience. You're 30, 40 people sitting in front of you. You're looking at everyone with a sweeping glance and you stop at one person. The sweeping glance is the floodlight. You're like a floodlight giving light to everyone. The spotlight is the focus on that one particular person. In an online meeting, eye contact is very simple, looking into the camera. What I'm trying to do right now, looking into the camera and not looking at my screen. So this is what is eye contact is a part of your body language. If you're delivering a speech, you're standing straight, but you're looking down, okay, looking here and there. You're not interacting with the audience members. It is part of the body language. People will think he is not very confident about what he's saying. So that forms a part of your body language. I hope that answers the question. Okay, I'll take that as a yes.
Hi, Rohan.
Yes, yes.
Shalu this side.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I
Please
have
tell
a
me.
question. The second point where you have mentioned your story, just wanted to check that should this story always be our own story, our life story, or can this be a third person story as well?
Absolutely. That third person is a part of your life. If I'm listening to you, Toastmaster Shalu, I do not know that third person, do I? So when you are sharing that third person story in your speech, I'm getting to know two people. I'm getting to know you and I'm getting to know person X. That is a part of your story itself.
Okay. Thank you.
Pleasure is mine. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll go to the second part of my session that we are actually trying to answer. That is an icebreaker speech. The icebreaker speech, ladies and gentlemen.
Rohan, sorry to interrupt you. Just wanted to check. Would you be sharing that the Excel part which you made
Absolutely.
with
I'll
all of
just
us?
take a screenshot of that and I'll share with Kashish bhai. He'll
Oh,
forward
that
it
will
to
be
you.
helpful to read and
Absolutely.
learn.
Absolutely.
Shalu,
Nothing
I
is
have noted.
patented.
And Shalu, I have
Thank
taken a
you.
screen, so I will be sharing with all. I've taken a
Okay,
screenshot.
nice. Thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Nothing is patented. This is all Toastmasters, right? Now, let's talk about the icebreaker speech. Now, all of you must be wondering, why is Rohan Nag going to tell me about how I am to deliver my icebreaker? I'll tell you why. Two reasons. Number one, because Kashish Bhai has told me. That's the most important reason. And number two is because I have delivered the icebreaker speech 7 times. I have completed 7 parts till now. So I have delivered the icebreaker speech 7 times. So what I'm about to share with you, be rest assured, is to add value to you. Don't worry about it. Right? I have a few tips that I would like to share with you. Tip number one, ladies and gentlemen, in the digital age, I want you to write your full speech. A lot of people say, just write 4 or 5 points, remember what you're going to say about those points, and deliver. They are correct, 500%. But the point about the icebreaker speech is, it is your first speech. If you remember, when we were students, okay, go back 10, 15, 20, 30 years back in your lives, we were always told to write and learn. Our brains are hardwired to write and learn because we have done that for 15 to 18 years of our lives. And when you are starting this journey, it is my request. End of the day, the choice will always be yours, but it is my request to write your full speech. Get that entire speech bridge in place. See what it looks like. Get a bird's eye view. Once you have delivered 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, 20, 30 speeches, then you yourself will be confident about having those pointers. Today, I use pointers in my speeches. I'll be honest with you. But as you are beginning your journey, work on the basic. Make your basic strong. So please write your full speech. Tip number 2, rehearse for impact. In this world, there is nothing known as a perfect speech. Every speech has some room of improvement. Even if it is 1%, it has 1% room of improvement, and that 1% makes it a non-perfect speech. Your thought behind your speech should be, when I walk down off that stage, when I leave that podium, when I walk out of that room, I want one person from that room to think, my word, how did she pull that off? That is your personal brand. I want you to have this target that whenever you take your speech, your stage the next time, be it for an icebreaker speech, be it for your path completion speech, or be it for a contest speech, someone from their audience should come and tell you that was absolutely mind blowing. That is the target I want you to have for each and every speech that you deliver at your club, at any Toastmasters club, any field, any podium across the world from today. They should have the desire to come and tell you this was something else. Tip number 3, you are the best version of your own self. Don't try and be a secondary copy of someone else. Don't try and speak like a Simon Sinek, like a Tony Robbins, like a Dhande Hatarachi. They are great guys, but they have developed their own style, their own delivery, their own tone, their own body language. Be yourself. The more natural you are on stage, the more easier it will be for you, because in your mind, you're not trying to be someone or something else. You're being yourself. I'll share a small scene over here. In one of the X-Men movies, I think it is X-Men First Class, there is a scene where Mystique is doing bench press, right? She is in her normal human form and she's doing bench press and she's struggling with the weight. Magneto walks in, and Magneto is a character in X-Men who can control metal. So he picks up that bench press, that bar with the weights in the air, and he suddenly drops it on Mystique. Now, Mystique is in a human form. The superpower of Mystique, the character, is she can take any form of any person in the world, in looks, in physical abilities. Now, when she sees that weight fall on her, she goes back to her original form and she catches the weight with one hand, which normally in the human form, she was struggling to manage with two hands. It is a scene in the movie X-Men First Class. And then after that, Magneto says that if you are so focused on being something that you are not, you will never be your full self. You will never have your full strength. That is exactly what I'm telling you to do here, is be your own self. Speak the way you do. Stand the way you do. But do it with an impact. Do it for an impact. Point number 4 is I, me, and myself. Sometime back I said, you are 1 in 7 billion. There is no one like you. It is said that there are 7 people in the world who look like us. Perhaps it is true, but the point is, they look like us. They are not us. They are not our story. They are not our experiences. They are not our successes or our failures. That is just you. So when you are writing a speech, all you have to do is mind your life. Think about your own self. Any world champion speech is one story from the life of that world champion. Your life is that unique. Mind your own life. And point number 5, ladies and gentlemen, this is specifically to Toastmasters. It is your safe space. Do not worry about making mistakes. Do not worry about forgetting your speech. Do not worry about wrong grammar. Do not worry about the wrong pronunciation. There are people to help you become better. You have role players, you have your mentors, you have your club members, you have guests. Let me tell you, I have won a lot of awards in Toastmasters. I have. But nothing gives me a bigger ego boost than when someone comes and tells me, Rohan, that was fantastic. Thank you so much. That is my target whenever I take the stage. Let me tell you, that is my target even now. I am hoping, you don't have to do it, but I am hoping that at least one of you at the end of the session says, Rohan, that added value to my life, that added value to my journey. That is the ego boost that I am going to personally get and will push me to take the stage the next time. It is your safe space. Today, when I was typing in Excel, I was making mistakes. I was making typographical errors and spelling errors and everything. But I've not had any fear because this is my safe space. At work, I may not have that kind of a comfort zone. So I use this stage to its full capacity to become the best version of myself. Right? So these are 5 very, very simple tips that I have for you. In the movie Lagan, there is a song, एक उठी तो उंगली टूटी, 5 मिली तो बन गई मुट्ठी. So these are the 5 tips that I want to share with you to add value to your journey. Ladies and gentlemen, Kashish Bhai had told me that this session should not be more than 1 hour. We started at 8. We are at 9:04. I'm very, very sorry for taking the additional time, but you have all stayed back, even though I have failed at keeping my target that was given to me by Kashish Bhai to keep the session on time. Because you have done that, and because I have not been able to do my part of the bargain, I have a gift for you. Small gift. Now, what I want is take out your cameras or get ready to take a screenshot, because the next slide is a gift from my end to you. Ladies and gentlemen, here I want you to go through each of them. I am sharing with you 10 themes, concepts, ideas that you can use in writing your next speeches. You can combine 2 of them, 3 of them, 5 of them, all 10 of them. Or you can use any one concept to write your speech. Take a screenshot of this. When you're writing your next speech, think, what in my life talks about resilience? And voila, the speech is ready. The idea is ready. What in my life, or what was that one, like someone asked me, I think it was Toastmaster Shalu, about delivering a speech about a third person. Point number 9, relationships. Now, I had this ready before Toastmaster Shalu asked me the question. So the question is absolutely spot on. Maybe a transformation. What made you join Toastmasters? You were able to transform yourself from having the fright of public speaking and stage fear to delivering in front of people to deliver your first speech. So here, 10 concepts, 10 ideas that I can assure you can give you even a world champion speech. Dhananjay Tarachi's speech was about transformation. Mohammad Katani's speech was about relationships. Remember, between his father and between the father and his friend, about him and his son, right? So any concept you pick up from here, you can write a speech. A small gift from my end to all of you. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I come to an end of today's session. A speech bridge that can help you write any speech, an icebreaker, which is all about you in front of your club members in your safe space, that will enable you to build your brand so that one person can come and ask you, ma'am, sir, how on earth did you do that? Can you please teach me? So with that, thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience. Sorry for taking additional time. If you have any questions, please ask me and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions.
Rohan, I don't have any question, but I really want to say that this session is all about crafting your icebreaker speech. But apart from learning how to craft icebreaker speech, we learned to like taking care the steps which you have taught us to implement every single speech which we are going to deliver. during our session. And along with that, I learned, and I believe everybody will be aligned with me, that how to evaluate the speech by considering the bridging structure which you have created. Because whenever we need to evaluate, that's very, sometimes very difficult when the speaker is very good. But there are some component which you have mentioned that still need to be considered while evaluating. So thank you so much. Really, really grateful to have such a trainer like you. I've really enjoyed your session.
Thank you for
Thanks a lot.
giving me that ego boost, ma'am. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Gurpreet bhai. Thank you very much. You're very, very kind. Any questions that you would want to ask me that we can discuss? Anything?
Thank you so much. This session was really very wonderful, as I have mentioned, and I can just relate to my speech, how I prepared and how I actually delivered to the audience. So I think I was able to manage. Thank you so much. My actually
Fantastic.
pathway is persuasive influence. So if any
Okay.
tips you want to give it to me for that particular pathway.
Uh, Gurpreet bhai, persuasive influence is all about how you are able to influence
Correct, correct.
your people,
So
right?
I'm trying to pick those kind of subjects only where at the end everybody says, yes, we do agree with you.
One of the easy, I won't say it is one of the easiest, but one of the ways in which you can influence people to believe what you are saying is to make them understand what's good for them.
Correct.
Why doing what you are saying will
Yes.
add value to them. You not
Right.
justify the what's in it for me factor.
Right.
The moment you can do that, I think you'll be able to positively influence your audience
My
members.
my club members are there. They can tell me if they want to. They have been listening
Absolutely.
to me. They have
Absolutely.
been listening to me, and three speeches I have already done.
Wonderful.
I have also joined like in the month of April, so
Okay.
it's the new beginning
Brilliant.
what we have started. Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Wonderful. So how about we give ourselves two targets today? Just two targets. Okay. Today is the 10th of September. I mean, I do not know if there is anything special about today in the world, but how about we make it special for Janakpuri Toastmasters Club, right? Target number one, I again reiterate, every time you take the stage, the target should be at least one person comes up and tells you, my God, that was fantastic. That is your personal target, a part of your personal brand. Target number two is for the family that you all represent today, and that is Janakpuri Toastmasters Club. How about we give a target that by 15th of April 2026, right? That's roughly November, December, January, February, March, April, 7 months. Okay, pardon if my maths is wrong. But by 15th of April, each and every one of you complete at least, at least level 3 of your pathway. At least. If you can go to level 5, believe me, that'll be, I will come and tell you, my God, that was fantastic. Two target, ladies and gentlemen. Make someone from your audience come and tell you that was fantastic. And okay, I'll objectify a target too. Make Rohan Nag come and tell you on 15th of April. My God, that was fantastic. Two targets. All the best, guys.
Rohan bhai, thanks a lot for keeping this session. I was amazed the way you took this session. I mean, I have seen a lot of speakers speak about how to write speeches, how to give their icebreakers, but I have never seen or I have never imagined that someone could explain this in this kind of manner, wherein the words were simple, no hyped words, no hyper English kind of things. Simple, very attractive. I mean, there were 12 members at the start of the session until the end of the session. All 12 were there. So amazing job done.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
for the opportunity.
Thank you. And in case we have any questions, we can take it forward, or else we'll close the session. And if you permit, Ron bhai, I can share your contact number with uh, our members. In case they have any queries, they can reach out to you. Thank you.
Thank you once again. Thank you, Rohan bhai. Thank you.
Bye bye. Take care.
Thanks
Thank you,
again.
members.
Thank you. Thank you so much.